Hello everyone, my name is Natalia and welcome to my channel. I'm very glad that now I have almost 400 subscribers on my channel. It's very interesting that you find this channel useful for you, and that's why I decided to make a video about my scholarship program and especially about my university because I've got some requests about it. Actually, it's been a while since I graduated. That's why it will be mostly about my memories, about my experience. But anyway, let's give it a try, and maybe it will be useful for you as well. I have a few notes right here, so let me sometimes have a look at them in order not to forget some stuff, some things that I would like to mention. So first of all, I'm going to talk about myself. So now I live in Budapest, but I used to study in another very nice Hungarian city. It's called Veszprém, and the university that is located there is called University of Pannonia. There you can find a few faculties, but my faculty was called the Faculty of Modern Philology and Social Sciences. So it's mostly for people who are really interested into some social sciences, in languages, linguistics, and especially my major was applied linguistics. So I'm going to talk about my experience. So that is a very interesting major. Because, for example, in other countries, especially in my country as well, this major is not that popular, and you cannot find a lot of programs that offer applied linguistics. So generally we are talking about theoretical linguistics, but here in this master's program I had a chance to see how actually linguistics work in reality, so in a field. For example, we talked about psycholinguistics, sociolinguistics, bilingualism. So if you hear this for the first time, it can sound a little bit complicated, but actually it's very useful in real life. For example, if we are talking about psycholinguistics, it says how your brain work when you actually speak to other people. For example, what is going on in your mind, how you can have different slips of the tongue when you are speaking, because you are maybe thinking about someone else, or there is another word, for example, in your own language that reminds you of that thing, and other really peculiar details that at first you cannot pay attention to, but when you start analyzing and starting to see some kind of neuron nets in your mind, they make sense. So for example, your mental lexicon, for example, if you speak I don't know, English and Turkish, you create in your mind some kind of mental lexicon because you have your mother tongue, you have English, and sometimes you can mix these words and all that stuff. Of course, it's just in a nutshell. I'm not going to tell you all the details, but it's quite interesting. Also, sociolinguistics. Here we're also talking about different societies within one country, within one place, and different minorities, how they interact with each other, what are the gender issues, some social like caste status in different countries, and how it also affects the language. For example, English of youngsters differ from people of older generation. These are the things. And what else I wanted to mention? Well, all in all, I wanted to say that this program sounds really interesting, and it actually is interesting. And I like the professors because all of them are a huge community, and they like to participate in different conferences, and that's why they know each other very well. And sometimes one professor um, can talk about some, I don't know, articles of another professor that also teaches us, used to teach us. That's why it's very, very interesting. And we had in my major, in my linguistic major, we had a lot of examples of Hungarian language. That was also unique because in my country, of course, we didn't have a chance to study Hungarian culture that much. So that is the first thing that I wanted to talk about, like generally about the subjects. Another thing that you need to do if you're doing your master's is to write thesis. When I was coming to Hungary, I was really frustrated about it because I thought that it's very complicated. Actually, it's not easy, but of course, your professor can help you a lot. He or she provides a lot of materials, can show the theses of other students. That's why you can have the main idea how to do that. Also, I used to study for 2 years, and the first year you don't have to write anything. So you just gather the knowledge of the program that you are studying. You see what attracts your attention, and then you choose the professor who knows a lot about this topic, and then you write thesis with this professor, but not in the first year, in your second year. And I think that it's a very good strategy, because when you come for the first time, you have so many things in your mind, because it's another country, it's a different atmosphere. If you're studying in the dorm, it's also another life. And if you need to write thesis exactly at the same year, it can be overwhelming. But if you at first can just see what you like, and then in the next year develop into it and study more, I think that's a very good opportunity. That's why I really like it, but I'm not sure how it happens in other universities. Maybe the system is slightly different, but I'm talking about my experience, about my major, and I think that's really nice. Also, yeah, as I mentioned, so you choose like what topic you're going to study and investigate and research. Of course, you can have like some ideas, and then when you choose your professor, he can, or she, like whatever, can navigate you more. That's why in the first year I suggest everyone studying more and understanding like what's really interesting for you. Maybe you can somehow connect it with your bachelor program to see that, oh, I know this topic quite a lot, so maybe I can investigate more. Maybe I can do something connected with Hungary, because in my profession, in my specialization, it was very nice that you can combine and research, for example, Hungarian culture and the culture that you're coming from. Of course, you in your thesis should have theoretical part where you explain the main ideas. You reference some authors, and in the second part you have some kind of research. It also depends on your profession, how you're going to make this research. In my case, I had a group of students who would answer some kind of questionnaires for me. So it's a big work, and then you need to analyze it, use different programs to analyze the material. But don't worry, it's a very interesting and amazing process. So that's the thing that I wanted to talk about. Also about Hungarian. As I mentioned, In my university, we had a chance to study Hungarian. It wasn't mandatory, but was really recommended. I know that right now, in this scholarship program, you even need to study Hungarian, and I think that's a really plus point. Of course, it can be hard because Hungarian language is not easy, but at the same time, at least you can understand the main things. Because if you come to some country, I think it's really interesting to know at least some basic words and use them in your real life. For example, when you go to a shop or just want to talk about something with Hungarian students. But be ready that it's not a very easy language, and you cannot acquire it in 1 or 2 years. Of course, you can if you have a lot of passion about languages, but yeah, you need to study a lot, and I really suggest you to do that. Okay, so that's about Hungarian language. What else I wanted to mention? Neptune. That's the system where you choose your subjects. Also, you have mandatory subjects and optional ones. It's all about the program, and usually professors tell you the details and help you with that. Maybe you're going to have some kind of mentor who is going to show you, and it's very important to be correct and right and pay a lot of attention to this Neptune system because it counts all your points, all your what else, all your grades, and you need to have some amount of subjects each semester, and by the end of the whole master's program, you should get some kind of score. I'm not going to talk about all the details, but be careful. You need to register in this system and stick to all the rules. That's one more thing. And yeah, I think that's it. It was just in a nutshell, and since it's been a few years ago, I already have forgotten a lot of like details, a lot of things about this registering into subjects. But I think when you come, like the professors, all the people that are working with you are going to help you with that, and I think that it's a very nice process if you're going to study in a foreign country, and I am very glad that you are coming to Hungary. If you're watching this video, I think you are coming, and yeah, thank you. Bye bye.